Is it here? No. Because you can turn the camera just so
Oh, I can turn the camera. What a concept. Good evening, everyone. Renee, you want to start, and then Kay's going to join us here.
Okay. Hello, welcome to our light circle. We're going to begin with divine light, the light within that we share. We'll ask Jesus what's most helpful to see, what miracles to perform.
So I wanted to join today. It's so beautiful to have these mighties that are devoted to this looking. This is the way given by Jesus. Just for a second. This is the way given by Jesus to get out of the dream, completely transcend personal identity. Tomorrow night we have a really wow, he's burning my barn doors down with some of these talks. Like tomorrow we're going to be talking about the difference between pleasure and happiness. And we know as course students that we have to release all the desires, not leave one left. So really, in order to be guided by him in these circles, it's helpful to emphasize it's a really deep inner listening. So there's not a lot of discussion or exchange of thoughts or ideas. It's a dropping in and listening and yes, no to the questions. Jesus, what do you want me to see? What is most helpful to focus on right now? And then listen deeply for what he says. And then it's a question. So there's not a lot of talking about, other than if he shows you something like, okay, I'm seeing that I'm choosing this, or he's showing me that, then this can be helpful to just say, or he tells you to say something specifically, you check in. Jesus, do you want me to say that? Because part of the speaking, as long as coming from that wholeness, is part of the healing. So it's really about being attentive only to that voice, and then to the yes, no's. Do I have more? Do we go deeper, Jesus? And you'll find with that level of focus, you'll build to in insisting, that's the other part, in going all the way. Like that is the greatest gift. He's really been emphasizing, ask him, Jesus, can I go all the way on this? Like till there's not a scrap left. And not to tolerate, not even a little ooch of a squeak. And that's the gift that we give ourselves, is having no toleration in the mind for anything having to do with the ego voice, no toleration for one scrap of these desires left. And then you'll really be able to go all the way. So you really turn into it. He tells you something, just turn into it. And yes, Jesus, do I have that? Do I still have that? And let him take you down all the way. But it'll be really essential, that deep listening for that voice, so you can be really clear. Anyway, that's what he's saying. So I'm coming in here to cheer the team, because we all go together. Supreme happiness, nothing less. So I love you.
Thank you. Love you, Kay.
Love you too.
This evening, we're going to look at the desire to Is it feel more powerful than God or be more
Yeah,
powerful than God?
let me just double check what Kay wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, the desire to be more powerful than God, to be more powerful than God.
Okay, we can ask Jesus if we have this desire below our level of awareness. I hear yes. I have the desire to be more powerful than God.
I'm hearing yes also, however, it takes going past that voice that says, are you kidding me? I don't want to be more powerful than God. Going past that voice, just asking and looking deeper.
I heard a yes, and then immediately I saw that I see God as an adversary. And so that's why I want to be more powerful so that I can overtake him.
I'm hearing that I see God as a nuisance. He seems to want to ask of me things that I don't want to do.
What I hear is that this is the same as wanting to be more powerful than light. Is the light and God are synonymous. I feel like there's power in saying no to the light or power in saying no to God. So we could ask what the value is of that, like wanting to be more powerful than God, or the desire to be more powerful than God.
He's showing me that I have an underlying belief that the other voice, the ego voice, the voice of personal identity, seems stronger than the voice for God. And so I see God as weak, and I want to be stronger than God, more powerful.
I don't see how it keeps me safe. The idea that the present moment is where safety is just sounds like a bunch of nonsense. So that's probably why I want to be more powerful than God so I can stay safe.
I had also heard safety.
Yeah, like safety and security, just knowing that I'm not going to be harmed.
Okay, I'm hearing that we can go deeper.
Yeah, what's below that, Jesus? Hmm.
It's like a pleasure. Pleasure in being more powerful than God.
I was hearing there's an arrogance and a defiance.
Obstinate. Stubbornness. Well, I can admit to being arrogant or stubborn. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that the ego really idolizes like Frank Sinatra's song My Way. It's like I did it my way. It's like I didn't need God's help. I did it my way.
Yeah, right before that, I heard the song lyrics, "You can go your own way."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what the ego is always trying to sell, that idea.
Yeah, it's like sheer wanting more.
Yeah.
It's that raw energy of more.
Let's come back to the relishing of wanting to be more powerful than God, and really, Jesus, show us how much we really want that.
Yeah, at first it seems silly, but then it's like, oh, the whole like universe, like I made the whole universe to hide and to feel powerful.
The first thing I heard was we could go deeper. And then right after that, I heard to ask if there's holding or release.
There's some kind of like slow moving anguish. That's what I feel.
You feel holding?
Like, yeah, like slow movement of anguish. So yeah, it would be holding. Feels a little paralyzing.
What I'm hearing is that the ego wants to make this into, oh, it's some big grandiose looking thing when it's really very subtle and goes on all the time. This
Oh yeah.
usurping the power of God or thinking I'm more powerful than God. Daydreaming, mind wandering, out picturing, not asking Jesus,
Oh.
do I need to get this? What should I do right now for the healing of my mind?
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm just getting that underneath it all is the fear of punishment of God. Now we constructed this whole world to not only hide out from him, to feel like we're in control and that we are safe.
The ego must really believe that it's fragile then because it's like all about safety, like seeking safety.
I'm hearing also that I really want to want to pretend or think that I know what power is. And just in
Yeah.
with the contrast to the light, like I have no idea what power is. And I hear that there's a willingness to see that I'm confused about what power is.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that I want to like snap my fingers and make illnesses go away and like command people to act a certain way and, just totally controlling things. Control, control, control.
Okay. I hear let's do a light check and see if we're holding or releasing.
Some release here.
Go ahead. What he keeps showing me, what I'm hearing is that there's, uh, yeah, all the different ways this shows up. That am I holding or releasing? Well, right now I'm looking at the relishing of hanging on to all these ways that I'm trying to dodge God or avoid God, which denies the power of God, I think.
Sure seems like it.
Mhm.
Well, when we ask that question, is it holding or releasing? We can just look at, do I still want this desire? Do I still have, is there more energy and that I want to keep? Or is there anything I'm not looking at or,
Yeah, I just heard him say, what is divine? What is the resistance of divine power for?
To feel more powerful than God.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah.
yes, there's still like a wanting. And then what I start to see is how I want it more than God. Being more powerful than God is more valuable.
How does that show up? What's he showing you about how you do that, how we do that?
Apparently, I don't want that. That's hard to admit, but it's true.
Are you hearing anything, Renee?
It's, oh yeah, it as like uh like a wanting to cover the light, or
Hmm.
Can you be more specific? Like, what's he showing you about where that actually is showing up?
like wanting to have the final say or the final word.
Hmm.
Like I could be shown so many things, and then yet I'll just go right back to that decision. And feel like there's a safety in it to
Hmm.
um, yeah, the words I was given, or the words that I heard, was cover the light.
I- um.
And
Alex,
it feels like it's something gentle, but it's um, um,
yeah, I'm here. What I'm hearing is to be very specific, because to say it sounds it's so general to say it, to cover the light.
An
yeah,
image.
I'm hearing that I need to go. I just need to go deeper with it.
Mm.
There's an like a image that arose. Let me ask if it's helpful to share. Yeah, so the ego sees like giving up to divine power like just like a boot stomping on its face, and it feels like the most foolish thing to do would be to lay back and just let it stomp on its face. It like needs to like push the boot away, or try to like justice. There needs to be some form of justice. Like it's like it doesn't want peace, it wants war.
Okay, I think we're getting into explanation and talking rather than the actual relishing and listening to what that experience is, to the point where we see how much we want it, and then we can get to a point where we want to give it up to a miracle.
We'll do a light check.
Yeah, it's definitely here.
Mhm. Yeah, well, what I hear is God is wrong.
And I love that God is wrong.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not interesting to the ego.
What he's telling me is that I love believing that my thoughts are more powerful than God.
Is there any concrete evidence of that?
I was hearing, we just want to ask if it's holding or release. There's definitely a sense of relishing that evidence, like an attempt to find evidence for this.
Just seems to be a belief, and it seems to live out an experience.
Ah,
Just, I was hearing just to stay with the desire,
hmm.
like to the sheer wanting of being more powerful than God. Just come back to that.
Yeah, and the underlying beliefs that contribute to that.
Well, the belief is, the desire comes first and then the belief.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to go back to, we want to stay with the desire.
Mm.
Hmm.
Feels like there's release in seeing that it's pointing back to the source, just by focusing on it, the sheer wanting of it.
So that's your experience right now?
Yeah, that it starts to turn. Starts to turn rather than the focus going out, it starts to turn back. And then I'm seeing the choice, and then I can see that it's like pointing back to, so it's like tracing it back to the source. And but to stay with that pure wanting of to be more powerful than God.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still holding on to the relishing of this. And I'm also hearing there is a desire to see it differently.
Same here.
Mm. Okay, and we're coming up upon our 40 minutes. So we just want to check in and see where we're at. Are we going deeper? Is there more you want us to see, Jesus, in this journey?
I'm hearing yes on that one.
What was that, Mary? Yes, what?
I'm hearing yes on that question from
Oh,
Jesus. Yeah.
Okay. Are we willing to see that it doesn't work?
There's like a sliver of me that is willing to see it.
Yeah, there's a recognition that it doesn't bring me the happiness that I think it's going to be autonomous and in charge and do it my way.
I can't even find any evidence that my attempts to do that have worked. That's why I keep laughing. So maybe that's enough to let go to that. Well, I can see at this point that I definitely don't know the way. I like to think that I do, but I don't.
And how much I really relish feeling more powerful than God, or feeling like I'm okay being autonomous. I really relish that. And that's being more powerful than God.
Yeah, I heard Jesus say, don't try to kill autonomy, just gently hand it over to the light.
Mm.
Let me deal with it. not the ego.
Yeah, what I hear is like place that power in his hands, and also decide for God for me.
Yeah, I also heard don't give the ego a job that it can't do.
Were you hearing anything, Kathy?
Well, what I was shown was, I mean, it basically, it's just pretty simple. It basically comes down to the desire to maintain a personal identity. And the ego is just jigging in its feet. I mean, it doesn't want to give that up.
Mhm.
And so I've just been sitting asking, how do I give that up? I mean, what has to happen, in order for me to accept my identity as light,
Mhm. Yeah, what I hear is saying no to the ego. That's accepting or divine power.
I saw that there's like this
You have to keep
quicksand.
saying no over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, it's like there's this quicksand, and the ego is like, if I keep moving around, then I can stay alive. Like that's the maintaining. But then Jesus was like, well, that quicksand is actually light.
And I was just, hearing, what Kay was saying in the beginning is that to stay with it and have that determination. I don't know if that's the word that she used, but to go all the way with this.
Mm.
So we can just ask if we're complete for now.
Feels complete for now, given the time frame. It
Mhm.
doesn't feel over. It just feels complete for now.
There is release. But more to see. Yeah.
I just felt a big release too.
You what?
I just felt a big release.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Mm. It's perfect timing too.
Okay, thank you all for joining.
Mm.
Mary, did you have anything to share in closing?
Tomorrow night, as Kay mentioned, she's going to be talking about the confusion between happiness and pleasure. And Jesus has really got a lot to say about that. So we put the announcement in Messenger with what he gave her today. And that's really very interesting, very powerful.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll have to read that. I haven't.
yeah, it's really good. And then the 45-day program the free 45-day program is going to kick off here In the next 2 days, yeah, and it's where every other day for 45 days, you receive an email with a particular quote, and then a lesson, an explanation, and then a video meditation, and then questions to ask Jesus. And it's all about, Jesus, why can't I hear your voice? Or what are some of the desires that I have about not wanting to hear Jesus' voice? And so it goes in depth in that. And Renee's, what lesson are you on now, Renee?
It's very thorough, very thorough. It's beautiful. It's I'm on day 21,
Mm-hmm.
21, 22. So
There's journaling with it. It's a real commitment. And you don't join with anybody. It's your relationship with hearing the inner voice, but it's very well done.
mhm.
So we'll put that out, announce it on Messenger, and I'm not sure how it'll go out on Facebook for sure. And then it just, once you sign up for it, you get the emails automatically, as I said, every 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah,
45 days with Jesus.
45 days with Jesus.
Is this something that you just sign up for at any time and go at your own pace? Or is it like a start date and then
Nobody
Yeah.
checks up on you or anything. It's just every 2 days, the email will come out. It come to you, and if you do it at your own pace, you just want to have some sort of discipline, some sort of commitment about it, so that you don't, because it builds. Each lesson builds on the next one.
I found that if I just set a time during the day to do it.
And
then-
programs like this, it's best just to follow the guidance given by Jesus, rather
Yes.
than like doing it at your own pace, because that just turns out to be avoidance and delay. And if you use the discipline or do it the way it's been given, then there's huge reward in that.
Well, what I meant was, it's not a program that is starting on a certain date. It's something that
Mhm.
it's
Oh, yeah.
all pre-recorded and pre-done, and anybody can start it at any time.
Oh, yeah, that is true, Kathy. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Okay.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy, can we see you?
I'm sitting in the dark, so
It's always nice to see people.
yeah. Don't like
I
to
love you.
be on camera.
Okay, well, we love you anyway.
There she
But I'll-
is.
There she is. Yay! You look beautiful.
Yeah. Shining.
Yeah, shiny, bright light there. Okay, love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.